When I first met Sarah, I believed she was everything I had ever wanted. We built a life together, shared a home, and created memories that I thought would last forever. 4 years, I trusted her without question, never once suspecting that she might betray me. But life has a cruel way of showing truths when you least expect them. It started with late nights at work and excuses about meetings that ran longer than usual. At first, I brushed it off, thinking she was just tired or stressed. But her smile became forced, her affection distant, and her presence at home felt more like an obligation than a choice. I wanted to believe it was just a phase, something we could work through together. Then came the silence. Conversations became short, and laughter that once filled our home faded into cold indifference. I asked her what was wrong, but she always dismissed my concerns, saying I was overthinking. I tried harder to make her happy, cooking her favorite meals, planning small trips, but nothing seemed to matter anymore. One evening, she sat across from me at the dinner table, her eyes heavy and her expression sharp. Without hesitation, she said, "I want a divorce." My fork froze midair. She said it so calmly, as if she had rehearsed the words countless times. I asked why, but she only said we had grown apart. Deep down, I knew there was more to it. A week later, the divorce papers were delivered. My hands trembled as I signed them, my heart heavy but my mind strangely calm. I told myself that maybe letting her go was better than holding on to someone who no longer wanted me. Still, the pain of betrayal simmered beneath the surface, unspoken but alive. The court date arrived, and I walked in with steady steps, determined to face the end with dignity. But as I entered the room, my chest tightened. Sarah was already there, and she wasn't alone. A man sat beside her, his hand resting casually over hers. The sight cut deeper than any blade. It wasn't just a divorce, it was a declaration of her new life, flaunted in front of me. The judge called our names, and as I stood, I felt every eye in the room shift between us. Sarah didn't look ashamed. In fact, she wore a smug expression, as though she had won some unspoken battle. Her lover leaned back confidently, almost daring me to react. But I stayed silent, my emotions locked inside. As the proceedings continued, Sarah spoke about irreconcilable differences, and how our marriage had fallen apart. Every word she said was a knife, but I didn't flinch. I let her talk. I let her show the world the woman she had become. I didn't need to expose her lies. Her actions were doing that already. Her lover occasionally glanced at me, perhaps expecting me to explode in anger or cause a scene. But I refused to give him that satisfaction. Instead, I kept my composure, answering the judge's questions with calm honesty. My silence, I realized, was louder than any outburst could ever be. When the judge finalized the divorce, Sarah smiled, her hand tightening around her lover's. She thought she had broken me, but little did she know, she had freed me. I walked out of that courtroom not as a man defeated, but as a man released from someone who never deserved my loyalty. The pain didn't vanish overnight, but it transformed into something stronger. I no longer carried the burden of trying to fix a marriage built on lies. Instead, I carried the lessons of betrayal, dignity, and resilience. Sarah walked away with her lover, but I walked away with something far more valuable: peace. Life after her was not easy, but it was real. Slowly, I found joy in small things again, surrounded myself with people who valued me, and rebuilt the pieces she had shattered. In the end, Sarah's betrayal was not my downfall. It was the beginning of my freedom.